Hello friends, today we'll discuss how to design a cotter joint. Cotter joint is generally used to connect two coaxial rods which are subjected to either tensile or compressive force. It is also used to connect a rod on one side and on other side there is crosshead or base plate. It is not used to connect shafts which rotates and transmits torque. So let us see what are its application. Cotter joint is used between piston rod and crosshead of steam engine, also for a spindle and fork of valve mechanism, joint between piston rod and tail or pump, and is also used for foundation bolts too. Cotter is a vase-shaped piece made of steel, and it is having uniform thickness and given a taper on its width, that is 1:24. It is the joint between two parts which keeps it tight. It ensures tightness of the joint in operating condition and prevent loosening of the part. Easy removal of the cotter and dismantling the joint, that is what it takes care of. There are various types of cotter joints. One is socket and spigot cotter joint, sleeve and cotter joint, jib and cotter joint. Here we are going to discuss socket and spigot cotter joint. So let us see how it is to be designed. If you look at the socket and spigot cotter joint, it majorly consists of three parts. One is socket, second one is spigot, and third one is cotter. When a pull P is applied at both the ends, spigot end and socket end, all these parts will be subjected to various stresses that we need to identify, and accordingly we will have to find out the area resisting these failures. Finding out the area resisting this failure is nothing but design, because design is finding out minimum dimension which resists failure. That we can see from here. So if you look at the dimensions which we need to design here, or which we need to find dimensions of these various parts are, one is rod, socket, spigot, cotter. So one by one we will see how it is to be designed. Well, first we will see the dimensions. So here P is the pull applied, D is the diameter of rod, D1 is diameter of socket, D2 is diameter of spigot, D3 is diameter of spigot collar, T1 is thickness of spigot collar, D4 is diameter of socket collar, C is thickness of socket collar, T is thickness of cotter, L is length of cotter, A is distance, or it is also known as spigot end, B is width of cotter, and C is socket collar end, and other stresses are also to be calculated. Here finding stresses of various parts means selecting material for various part and accordingly finding out the permissible limit of all these material before going for the design. Now material is selected from design data book. Here PSG design data book 1.9 is the page to select material for various parts. Once the material for various parts, that is socket, spigot, cotter and rod is selected, now we will start designing each and every part. As we have selected material for each and every component, we know the resistance offered per unit area is stress. So we know pull applied and we know stress for each material. So if you want to calculate stress, that is the resistance, that is force offered per unit area, that is the area resisting failure, what we need to do is we need to find out area for each and every component. So sigma is equal to P by A, therefore P is equal to sigma into A. So we need to calculate area. Left hand side there is P, right hand side there is area into stress. Let us start with rod. When pull is applied, rod is subjected to tension. So stress is equal to P by A, therefore P is equal to area into stress. So here area is pi by 4 D square. The area resisting failure is area of circle with diameter D. Okay. Next part is spigot. Now if you look at a cotter joint, spigot is the part through which there is a slot provided through which a cotter will go. So if you want to find out area resisting failure in a weakest section of a spigot, it is going to be area of circle minus area of the slot for cotter. So that area is going to be pi by 4 D2 square minus D2 into T. So P is equal to area into stress is the formula which is written here. Here thickness span can be considered as 0.31 times of D, or we can find out d2 into t by making use of next equation, which is failure of quarter in crushing, that will give us d2 into t. We will see that. So as I told in earlier step, we can find out d2 into t, and which can be put in the earlier equation, that is for failure of spigot in tension. So d2 into t is the area which resists failure of quarter in crushing. So that can be found out here with the equation, with this equation, that is P is equal to d2 into t into sigma c, that is crushing. So now this d2 into t can be put in the earlier equation, and d2 and t can be calculated. Next part is socket. Now if you look at socket and spigot quarter joint, the socket and spigot are held together with the help of quarter. Now when you look at the slot, there the slot is provided in socket and spigot both, and through which quarter will go. Now socket is going to fail in tension because of the pull applied at both the end, and the area resisting failure is going to be area between two concentric circles, that is socket and spigot, and the quarter will go through it, that is going to make some recess between these two circles. So area resisting failure is shown here, pi by 4 d1 minus d2 square minus d1 minus d2 into t into sigma t. That is how we can find out d1. d1 is diameter of socket, and d2 is diameter of spigot, and t is the thickness of quarter. So if you look at this equation, by solving it we will get d1 found. Failure of quarter in shear. If you look at quarter will fail at two places, that is double shear. So double shear means B into T 2 times. So the area resisting failure is 2BT. So the formula becomes P is equal to 2BT into tau. This will give us width of quarter. Next, how to find out diameter of socket collar, that is D4. So that can be obtained by considering socket collar in crushing. The area resisting failure would be d4 minus d2 into thickness of quarter, that is t. So the formula becomes P is equal to d4 minus d2 into t into crushing stress. So this is the way to find out d4, that is diameter of socket collar. Now let us revise what we have done. Till now we have calculated dimensions, that is diameter of rod, that is D, by considering failure of rod in tension, then diameter of spigot, that by considering failure of spigot in tension in slot, then we have calculated we have cross-checked thickness by considering failure of quarter in crushing, then we have gone for failure of socket in tension. So there we have seen there is socket, spigot, and there is a slot which is weakest section. So we have calculated that area also, which gives us D1. So D1, D2 and thickness were calculated in first 4 steps, and 5th step was failure of quarter in shear, that gave us width because of double shear, and then failure of socket collar in crushing, there we got D4. This is how we have calculated first 6 dimensions by considering these failures. Now we will see next what is to be done. Now next part are socket collar end and spigot end. So spigot end is A, socket collar end is C, then spigot collar thickness T1 and spigot collar diameter D3. So one by one we will see how these dimensions can be obtained. Spigot end, socket collar end, thickness of spigot collar and diameter of spigot collar. So these are the 4 steps which are remaining. We will see one by one. If you look at socket collar end, so it will fail in shear. So when a quarter comes out safely, it will shear off the socket collar end, and the area resisting failure will be, it is double shear, and area resisting failure is d4 minus d2 into c, and since it is double shear, it is multiplied with 2. So it is 2 times of d4 minus d2 into c into tau will give us c obtained, that is socket end, that is socket collar end C. Similarly, spigot end A can be obtained by considering double shear of spigot end, that is A into D2 2 times, that is 2A D2 into tau is going to give us A obtained, that is spigot end. Next is to calculate thickness of spigot collar. So if you look at the thickness of the spigot collar, so it will fail and the ring will come out, and is the one which gives us thickness of spigot collar obtained, that is T1. So pi into D2 is the circumference, with thickness T is going to be the area. So pi D2 into T1 into tau is going to be the area and stress that will give us the thickness of spigot collar obtained, that is T1. Similarly, the diameter of spigot collar can be obtained by considering failure of spigot collar in crushing. So the area resisting failure would be pi by 4 d3 square minus d2 square. So this is how d3 can be obtained. The area between the diameter of spigot and outer diameter of spigot collar, that is the area resisting failure, pi by 4 d3 square minus d2 square. Now after first 6 steps, remaining 4 steps were of spigot end, socket collar end, spigot collar thickness and spigot collar diameter. So that is A, C, T1 and D3 are obtained. Now 11th step is to find out the bending stress. Consider failure of cotter in bending. So here we know that bending stress is M by Z, bending moment divided by section modulus. So how the bending moment is calculated? It is calculated by taking section at the quarter. The one section is considered where P by 2 is acting and moment is taken, that is P by 2 into 1/3 of D4 minus D2 by 2 plus D2 by 2 minus other end, it is P by 2 into D2 by 4. So that is how we will get maximum bending moment. So if it is simplified, you will get P by 2 in bracket D4 minus D2 by 6 plus D2 by 4. So this will give us bending moment. So this bending moment is to be divided with section modulus, and section modulus can be obtained at the quarter by taking I by Y is going to be section modulus, and that can be obtained by TB cube by 12 divided by B by 2. That is how it is going to be TB square by 6. So section modulus is 6 and sigma B is equal to M by Z. M is put in the numerator and Z in denominator. This is how we will get bending stress obtained. This is how socket and spigot joints are to be designed, by finding out all the dimensions with the help of these 11 steps. Few remaining few dimensions are to be calculated by making use of empirical equations. Length of the quarter is obtained by 4D, taper is 1:24 and clearance is given as 2 to 3 millimeter, and E, which you can refer from the figure, E is 1.2 times of D. So friends, here we have seen how to design quarter joint, and there are various steps by which we have seen how it is to be designed. So if you look at the socket and spigot quarter joint, we will come to know there are various stresses which it will undergo. If you look at the tensile failure is of rod, socket and spigot. How that failure is, if you look at rod will fail in tension, socket also will fail in tension in slot, and spigot also will fail in tension in the slot. So these three are subjected to tension. And when it comes to crushing, cotter will fail in crushing, socket collar will fail in crushing, and spigot collar also will fail in crushing. So D4, T and D3 can be obtained by crushing, these three steps. There are few dimensions which we have calculated by considering shear failure. Here we can see A, B, C and T1. These are 4 dimensions which comes along the P. So failure along pull is going to be considered in shear. So that is how failure of spigot end in shear, that is A, failure of quarter in shear, that is B, and failure of socket collar end in shear, that is C. So A, B, C can be obtained by considering shear failure. At the same time, spigot collar in shear there we have seen how T1 is obtained. So these 4 failures are considered as shear failure, which gives us A, B, C and T1. So there are 3 tension, 3 crushing and 4 shear. Total 10 failures we have seen. Failure of quarter in bending gave us bending strength of the quarter. So that is also checked here as step number 11. And finally, we have seen how length of the quarter is calculated. What is the taper provided on quarter? 1:24. E is 1.2 times of D, and length of the quarter is 4 times of L, and the clearance is 2 to 3 millimeter. This is how it is designed. Thank you.